What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video on the West Ham TV. Been a while, but we have time off work this week, so we're going to get into things all West Ham related. Mainly today's show is just going to be a quick little preview on West Ham's games this evening against Brighton at home. Huge game, 7:30 at the London Stadium. Look, let's start the light out behind me here because it's I can imagine it's probably not the best thing to look. Let's close the windows. So here we are. Oh dear. So West Ham kick off tonight, match week number 14, I think, in the Premier League season, the first midweek slot of the year. I can't. It's not. Look, it's early in the season to say it's a huge game, but it's a game you wouldn't want to lose. Let's just say that. And not just because it's a losing streak. Brighton are up there as well around us at the moment. They can go right behind us tonight if they win against us. We've lost 2 games at home this season. It's a huge game. We've beaten some big teams along the way. Spurs. I don't even know if you call them a big team anymore, but Liverpool. We've done really well at times this season. You look at Brighton. I think it's similar. Start the season they were converting their XG, and this season now later on in it they're not doing it again. They're creating a lot of chances. They like to dominate possession. They've got some key players in there. They're solid defensively. So it's a really tough and tight game. I think this will be this evening, to be fair. On Brighton as well, they don't, they've been promoted like 4 or 5 years now. We haven't beaten since they've been up. I think it's at least 5 years they've been up. We haven't beaten once. So it's a really big chance at a good time to beat them tonight. Now, we're just going to, before we actually preview the Brighton game, we're going to quickly go into Brighton and their, be fair with their, the team news and the press conference from David Moyes today about them. So, this is what David Moyes had to say on Brighton today. Well, yesterday said this, of course. He was on Brighton, Brighton Hove Albion on the opponents. He said every team who plays Brighton understands that they can cause problems. You like every team, but every certain aspects of problems that Brighton can cause. They've played a really good style and have made a good start to the season. I think Graham Potter has done a great job, and they've gone about their work really well. And if you asked me last season who I tipped to improve, I would have said Brighton. He's not wrong, and that's just another aspect of Moyes. He can see teams coming through, and I think Brighton, like West Ham, are coming through a project right now. They've been down the relegation zone the last few years. With the players and the manager they've got, they probably should be doing better. And now Potter's come in over Newton and came in and done a really good job over the last few years. And the boo and the I don't really understand it. I was shocked. Apparently, well, it was maybe towards the owner / the manager for the buying part of a striker that can finish. But look, the job he's done, I think any Brighton fan can acknowledge deep down that he's done a great job for them. Top half. They've a chance of Europe this season, 100%. It's up for grabs, 6th, especially 7th. Considering we got last season. See a bit of consistency in scoring goals for them because they've got a very well balanced team. I think just overall they're a well-run club, and Graham's a really good manager, and that's absolutely perfect. He was on the booze against the Leeds game. He said he doesn't know why, and he's definitely sure what he's doing. On their start to the season, No, on our start to the season, it's right up there with the best, which is true when we started this good. And I was even looking last night. Out of all the teams we've played so far this season, if you reverse them to last season, we've 2 points extra. Not this stage, but 2 points extra against the teams that we've played this season compared to last season. So despite games that we didn't do well in we did well last season, but we didn't do well this season. Like the Wolves losing away. We beat them twice last season. There's points dropped. Brentford at home lose that game, but didn't lose against the pro team last season. But we made that covered up with the win against Liverpool at home and beat Newcastle win away. So it's balanced itself out. So consistency is important for us this evening. I think the big thing is that I've got a really good team and a group of players who are competitive, working on changing the mentality. And I think when it comes to December 28, I'll have been here 2 years. The turnaround the players I've met in that time has been great, so they deserve huge credit for what they've done. I'm still trying to build a club. 18 months at the moment isn't a long period to be at any club, but the players and the staff have made decent progress. And I think that's more than the fact that we've more progress to make, which is absolutely true for Moyes. Some managers might turn around deep down and say, "Yeah, we have progress, but look, we'll stay where we are right now because we're West Ham. We probably are pushed or looking to want to go further." But Moyes says, "No, we're a big club. We're going to go further," and that's exactly what I love about David Moyes and his team. Um, on recent successes in the midweek fixtures, West Ham are unbeaten in their last few load of midweek games anyway. He said, "Let's hope it continues. Level of Premier League, it's so tough to win these games. Everyone's in the batch of or more fixtures at the moment, so results could be strange, and it's not easy to call the winners of any game." I don't know if it's a good or a bad thing. We're used to playing midweek games at the moment, Europa League and stuff, and Carabao Cup, we've been a few rounds, and now we've so far so good. Fingers crossed. Our squad depth's okay due to injuries and suspensions and stuff, so we're more well prepared for that. I would look at other teams like Palace last night, Leeds in general. Squad that won't be good enough for it, and I'm just looking there, and it'd be very interesting to be fair to see how other teams compare to us, coming into the weekend after this first batch of Premier League midweek fixtures. But yeah, look, I don't know, is that I'd say it's a good thing because we're used to it, but look, it's annoying as well because playing 2 games a week, coming up to a busy Christmas period as well. We'll have to see how that goes. On his January recruitment strategy for the window, which is just literally exactly a month from today, actually, it's opened. If it was this easy to buy players, we'd all go out and do us. Here at West Ham, we'd have bought loads of players in the past, but you don't always get the right players. It doesn't always work. You have to buy the right players, of course. We want to strengthen and keep improving to challenge the teams at the top. So I think what we're gathering from that is Moyes does definitely have an eye on certain players, and he knows what he needs to do at West Ham to keep continued progress. His signings have been very. I question Vlasic, but in general they've been very smart, and overall, the signings have been very cute. By the way, he's done it. I was reading an article this morning on Instagram and Twitter that Holzek, we've been looking at him a lot over the last few weeks in late summer, autumn. Now a concrete offer exit confirmed for January window is going to be examined. And surely if you put an offer down and give him a half decent contract, then who knows what can happen. You got to try. And I think Moyes won't go without anyone in the window, as bad as their owners are. And especially with the Sparta owner coming in now as well in the window, I think he could pose maybe a signing or two extra. It doesn't have to be loads of signings, it doesn't have to be a lot of money, but it's a signing or two extra that we wouldn't get, that we might get now. But yeah, we'll come to that as we get through Christmas and start a January window there. On Ben Johnson, he's a great boy to work with, and he's had to wait. He's got an opportunity, and he's been great. We've been very pleased with Ben, and he's had a really good game against Ryan Sterling. He started the season really well. Sometimes an opportunity comes, you say to any player in the squad, sometimes he had a couple of games, and he's taken it. He's earned a position and the chance to get that jersey. A really interesting point there from Moyes. He has come in and taken the jersey, and I'm looking tonight. I don't know is it just the fact that it's a midweek game or not, but I think Kufal comes in for Johnson tonight. We'll come through that in a minute. I mean, I haven't watched a lot of live West Ham games in the last month and a half or so because of work commitments and all that. And the only games I've watched live has been Genk in the Europa League. I watched the highlights of some games. I watched the Spurs game in the league. I haven't really watched much more, to be honest, than that. Only highlights in the last month or so. So I haven't really got a good grasp of where we're at with Johnson compared to Kufal. You haven't watched Kufal live in a long time. He's been injured, and then when he's come back, I haven't watched him at all. So it's a really interesting one, but I don't know. What I'm hearing is Kufal is better going forward. And to be fair, when I have watched Johnson, the delivery isn't the same. And Kufal is a very solid defender as well. So I'm just wondering, it's tough on Johnson because if he's got to break into the team, he's going to have to keep a starting point down in the team. And when is he ever going to do that? If we're going to call back Kufal, it's a really tough situation to be in. And he's going to want to be a starter, especially after the start of the season of Moyes that he's had. So look, I don't know. Apparently he did have a good game at Stern the other day, kept him quiet for most times. And there's no doubt he's a good quality defender. But where do you stand with Ben Johnson right now, guys? I don't know. I really don't know. But look, two quality right backs, great situation to be in. On back-to-back home games, we've been away, which is coming up now, by the way. We've been away to Wolves, Rapid Vienna, and Manchester City. So having three home games now, hopefully we'll use it to our advantage. Crowd's been brilliant in the stadium, and we need them. We need them all the time now, and that's true. The crowd has to be right behind these players. I don't think it's a massive difference. I thought, look, I wouldn't say I was a firm believer in it, but when people said West Ham only play well when there's no fans in the stadium, I wouldn't go that far. But I'd say when things don't go well, it definitely eases. It definitely, when the fans weren't there, it eased some of the struggles and pressure on the players at times. But I wouldn't say we can't win without fans. I wouldn't go that far. Um, the home games are huge. Last season we just joined top or joined second best home record in the league. We've already faltered that a bit this season. So it's been great to be fair. But look, the last three games we've had, and we'll come on to that actually joint with this now on the morale following back-to-back Premier League defeats. The wins and the way we've been playing has given us huge belief. I don't necessarily think that we played. Now, I don't think not winning Man City would necessarily give us a huge dent. We want to get back to winning, and I understand that if we're going to continue to be competitive, we have to pick up points. It doesn't matter where it is. Competing means winning games as well. We competed really well against Liverpool and beaten, and competed well against Man City and didn't get a result against them. We're not quite at the level yet, but we have to keep pushing for it. And Moyes again acknowledges that, and I'm just wondering. It's been a while since we've had back-to-back defeats. Happened, let's say, once, twice max last season. Even the season before, for the end of it, we were rarely losing back-to-back games. It was lockdown last year. So it doesn't necessarily mean you're playing bad or you're a bad team if you're losing back-to-back games, especially with Man City in a tough away game before it. But it is important, and it shows your character when you come back from back-to-back games. I genuinely don't think, especially leaders in that team, like Rice with mentality. I don't know Noble doesn't start, but he's a leader in there. Players like that, I don't think it'll affect them, honestly, with the experience they've got and the way we've been playing so much long now. But it's an important sign to show that who you are, where we're at, with wins like this. I don't think, as I said, I don't think it's going to be massive for us. The defeat we've been, I wouldn't say dent, would say, but it's definitely not nice. But look, every team experiences it. Teams can lose 3 or 4. Even Brighton, they haven't lost a lot, but they've drew a lot of games between now and the end of September, and they're still 8, and could go about 1 or 2 points behind us tonight if they win. So it works in merry-go-rounds. It works in circles. So let's just know about that. And then about any injuries, especially with Aaron Cresswell, who came off injured for Koufal the other day. He said, we've got a doubt about Aaron Cresswell, but he's been out today, so hopefully he's not been bad. I presume when he says out, he's been out today, so hopefully he's not too bad. The way it sounded, he's been out training, so he's not too bad. So he's definitely ready for the weekend against Chelsea, I reckon, but I don't know about the squad for this game tonight. So we'll wait and see with that, but we'll see how he is. So I don't think Moyes likes to take risks, and especially Cresswell played a lot of game time recently. It's maybe something that we don't look towards doing. This is my team. Meanwhile, for the game tonight, we'll just show it on the screen really quick now. Areola, I'm going to put in goals. Look, I was thinking about this with some of my players. I was like, you know what? What team do I put out? Because when you think about it, at the end of the day, it's a big game, but it's a midweek game. We have to rest. And when we have had midweek games so far, I know they haven't been Premier League and haven't been as important, but we have rested and altered the squad a good bit. But I'm looking at players here, and it's like I've Rice and Suchek in the midfield, and I'm telling you why. I was looking at it, and I was like, you know what? Let's maybe put Noble in for especially Rice, because Rice could get suspended if he gets a yellow card tonight, and he won't be there for Chelsea, or so on, so on. But I'm just looking at these, and I'm like, it's still a Premier League game. We're on a 2-game losing streak, home under the lights. Chelsea the weekend, tough fixtures list coming up for Christmas. This is where you need to pick up points and play a strong enough team. It isn't Europa League. Although goalkeepers are a bit different. Fabianski's getting old now. Distribution's poor. Still very good goalkeeper, great shot stopper. But look, there's some faults in his game that you're getting to see. Apparently wasn't great against City the other day. But look, I think Areola is someone you have to put in goals. He needs game time. A Premier League game as well would be nice. His first Premier League game for West Ham, I think it would be. And it's like a straight swap. In fact, it's an upgrade. Areola coming to Fabianski, so I don't think anyone can complain about that. It ease him into the Premier League a bit more, even though he's already played at Fulham before. And there's no worries with that. Johnson, it will come into left back. I'm putting Kufal in right back because, as I said earlier, I think Cresswell could be out. If Cresswell's not out, I'd still keep him on the bench or just rest him in reserves. Um, I think that Johnson isn't. He's definitely a weaker, link on the left hand side and the right hand side. He makes the other side his own, but he can play left back, and he scored against Brighton at home last year. And after Christmas, and he's young, he's pacey, reliable, solid. He's not terrible going forward. He's just not as good as Kufal. And defensively, as I said, he's reliable. And look, he's been in the team recently, so like don't just completely take him out. If Kufal comes into right back, use him, keep using him. He'll still have confidence from that. And then Diop and Zuma, Dawson just because of the age. I think he's old, but he's a bit old and slow. And with Diop and Zuma there, I think you get. I don't know about Diop. I'm only putting him in there to give him one more chance, but maybe you don't, but I don't trust Diop at all. I don't. I think he's very poor. I really do. I don't see any improvements with him at all. I see him a bit better with someone good beside him. So maybe that helped with Zuma tonight, but near him because they haven't played together in a while. But I'm sorry, I'm my ship sailed with Diop. You can't be just good for so many years with someone better beside you. You've got to take up and stand up for yourself. He's not doing it. Um, you could argue Zuma to get rest, but it's a Premier League game. You got to play your best players. And then you're probably putting Dawson in, and then he needs to get rested. So it's interesting. It's a toss up between Dawson and Zuma who gets rested. Um, you might go Diop Dawson because he's played them in midweek a lot, but yeah, Dawson's played so many consecutive games. I don't know. Um, Rice, Suchek in midfield, went over this briefly already. Got to play our strongest team. Hopefully Rice will be told not tonight not to get a yellow card because we don't need to get suspended for Chelsea and going to the game hopefully the weekend. I don't want to go there without half the reason I'm going to see Declan Rice. So please don't get suspended tonight. Lanzini, Benrahma, and Yarmolenko in the attack could be altered as well with Bowen up top. I've gone with this few changes, so Fornals can come out for Lanzini. Yarma will come in to replace Antonio, which was Bowen up top. I don't know about Yarma. I don't know, but the reason I'm going with him tonight is simply because I heard he played really well against Vienna away last week. And I know Europa League is different to Premier League. I don't think he got the work rate or the attitude for the Prem, but I would just give him a chance tonight because he's been okay this season. He hasn't been the worst. You could argue Masuaku as well, especially if Cresswell doesn't play. But Masuaku played the other day, he's getting back from injury, he's still dodgy. Yeah, so I would probably go that to be fair. Benrahma still get a bit of flair and skill, and like I don't want him to get injured. I don't want anyone to get injured, so don't get this the wrong way. But if there was one player you'd play and got injured, you'd be like Benrahma. He's not a risk because he's not going to he's been poor recently, and he's not like I know squad depth is you would get lower, but if there was one, we'd say you wouldn't get as hurt much as Benrahma because you wouldn't lose a lot from what you've had recently. So it's less risk playing him, and he adds a bit of flair if it does work. And if it doesn't, then you've got a good bench. Fornals, Antonio, and stuff in there. Lanzini played well the other day. He's got to start. He's the first time on the team sheet. I'm sorry tonight. Played really well apparently against City off the bench. Played well against Vienna Europa League games and stuff. And although people are saying maybe he's better impact sub and not a starter, you've got to try him out here and try and see. If you can't play well against Brighton in the league, then maybe it is a bench player or a lower team player. Unfortunately, Bowen up top to replace Antonio, easy cam as you like. Bowen can play striker, maybe he's not a good one, and his finishing's poor. But he got rested the other day. I think Moyes will definitely play him whether it's striker or winger tonight. And I think Antonio has to get a break here because he's playing with Jamaica. He's going to play 3 games in a week. I know he didn't travel to Austria. But we've got to, would you rather him against Chelsea or here? Got to be Chelsea. And yeah, the rest of the team picks himself. An okay bench as well. But looking forward to the game tonight. My score prediction, I don't think we'll lose. I genuinely don't think we will. I don't think we're the sort of team. I think it'll be a really close game. We're going to win it. I think we're going to win 3-1. You know me, I've never backed West Ham to win, especially by that much ever. Even bloody Vienna, I didn't think we'd win the other day. I think we're going to win 3-1. I think Yarma will score. I think Lanzini will score again. And I think it's been Diop and Bowen. No, Lanzini, Yarma, and Suchek. There's the goal scorers tonight. And I think Brighton will get a goal back from Solly March. But it's not going to be enough, unfortunately, for them. Big game tonight. We win, we can consolidate that top 4 spot for another 2 weeks. Even if we lose to Chelsea, I think. Really important to get the confidence back in track over it. I wouldn't say a very tough December period, but it's a very busy and hectic one, and every game causes its own problems. So against each team. So looking forward to the game tonight, guys. Let me know below what your score predictions are and who you think will score, if there is going to be goals, and how you think this game goes out. We'll be also uploading a video on the Football Fuss channel as well, which is going to be my Premier League predictions for this week too. So hopefully you do enjoy, guys. If you did, click like the video, subscribe new, and comment on further videos. Guys, one thing left to say: come on, you Irons!